This is Pistachio's third ride. I haven't ridden him since I posted that last video, which was 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And we're going for a little hack, once again in a halter, but this time we have reins. Good boy. Good. He's wearing Banksy's halter, yes. I'm mean and I don't really have his own. But yeah, he's never been down this way either, so he's being excellent. And I'm just clicking and rewarding every few strides because he's being really forward and brave. So even though I haven't told him to do anything new, I'm still rewarding it because I want to reinforce the calm forward walk, especially in new areas. And then gradually I'll build the duration and he's not going to need to get reinforced as often. I posted the video of his second ride, which was after he'd had 5 months off since the first ride, and I had a whole ton of people tell me that my pony came from the auction broke because they were so mind blown by a calm horse that they thought I was lying. This pony arrived from the auction like feral. He hated people and he'd try to bite us, and he definitely wasn't even halter broke. So there is no way he was ever broke. And multiple people can attest to that. This is just what good training does. It makes behaviors stick. And if they never have to associate discomfort or fear with riding, then they're not going to be as worked up after time off because it's not some big, exciting, scary, anxiety-inducing thing. So he's definitely afraid of those hay marshmallows, so I'm just letting him look. He's blowing a little bit. I might get off and walk him depending on how concerned he gets. But we'll see. I'm getting off to walk him because he's nervous, and if I walk him and I stand on the side of him where the marshmallows are, which will be, so I'm between him and the scary thing. My goal is to build confidence, not destroy it. And if I made a horse on their third ride after they've had probably a total of like 45 minutes of riding, just march on past all the stuff that they've not seen before, he'd probably do it, but then he'd be scared. And then he's not going to trust me as much in other situations. And also he might not want to come with me again when I try to ride him the next time. And pushing him through that with me on him wouldn't serve anyone except for my ego. Like, there's no training purpose. It wouldn't make him a better horse. In fact, it would probably damage the work that I've put in. So this is why I get off now. I used to ride through stuff like that because I had it drilled into my head from a young age that you got to be gritty and ride through stuff. But it is such a load of shit, and it comes from a place of immense insecurity where people are always having to prove themselves. And I'm so tired of it. I'm done with it. This way's better. You can see how well it works because I've been riding him with no prep, bareback. Now he's afraid of the beehives, so we're just gonna walk on by, and I've switched sides because the beehives were on the other side. Good pony. Also, the other thing is I do a few rides or sessions like this while he's nervous where we take things slow and I babysit him or baby him like some people would probably say. Then he's not going to be afraid of these things anymore because he's had no fear response around them. And then I save a whole lot of time because I'm not going to have a spooky pony who's hot and jumping around and bucking or being too hot to ride after time off. So even if it takes me a little bit more time in the beginning, it's going to save me tons of time in the long run because I'm not going to be dealing with behaviors that are caused due to anxiety. And since he's a pony and he's going to be ridden largely by kids, I want him to be pretty freaking safe before I rehome him. So now my plan is to ride him past the things that he was afraid of. I just did the beehives. I'm going to let him grab a snack because first of all, I'm one-handed, and secondly, if he's going to eat, I'm fine with that since he's being a good boy. So yeah, we're going on the way back now, and if he really freaks out, I'm going to jump off. We haven't had a single flight response yet. He's just been blowing at things, but he's not reacted to them because I've been keeping him below threshold. It's okay for him to be scared, but my preference is for him not to get so worked up that he reacts without giving me a chance to help him self-soothe. And then that's safer because he's going to give riders warnings if something's bothering him before he just reacts. And he keeps stopping and looking around because he is definitely nervous. Like I said, he's never been down here. He's a little ways away from the herd, and he's a baby, and he was feral up until like last year around this time actually was when we got him. But he was still feral then because that was right when we got him. So I've had him for about a year. So he started breathing differently. He's smelling something. A breeze started blowing over this way. So he smells something probably from another property that has him a little bit concerned. So now I have the trigger of those big marshmallows that he's afraid of, whatever he's smelling. And there's a truck also driving down the driveway over there. So right now I'm not going to put my leg on and push him forward because that would be stupid to do. I'm going to give him time to process this. He's wanting to turn away. I'm going to just turn him back to the grass. And if he wants to munch, that's fantastic. But no, he decided to go. So now I'm gonna click and reward that if he'll take this from, oh yeah, he's smelling poo, not grass. Sir, let me reward you. Sir, oh, you're too brave. And I apologize for the angle of this. I don't have anyone to film me. So now we're doing these guys. And what horses do a lot is they'll pass something, and once they get in the middle of passing it, they'll feel a bit sandwiched, and that's when they'll scoot. So like right about here is where he could have a bigger spook. And also if that plastic flaps, he might spook. So I'm taking in everything around me and just considering it from his perspective. Also, I apologize for the fact that it's all filmed from this angle. It gets dark so early now, and my mom's a teacher, so she's not here to film during the day. But the only realistic time for me to do stuff with the horses is during the day. So it's a little bit of a boring angle. I need to get a GoPro and then need to find a working student or a little helper to help me film stuff. I was gonna take him back and put him away, but he's decided he wants to go back this way. So I'm gonna see how far he takes himself. Sniffing all the poops that we find, gathering information about the other horses. Now we hack with Mr. Milo. Trying to get him out for more rehab work because his locking stifle does way better when he's in work. So we're just going for little walks. He doesn't love walking on the rocks yet, but he's walking much better on the rocks than he used to because he used to literally be crippled on rocks. So what I did with him was 7 minutes of work, so it was pretty quick. And he's all saddled now and we're going for a walk. You can watch the full tutorial with my explanations on Patreon if you subscribe, so you can check that out. So I used the same method that I was using with Pistachios leading, but on the ground with Banksy, obviously, because he's not broke. So he's checking things out. He's also afraid of the marshmallows, but he's being a very good boy. Isn't he so handsome, all saddled? I cannot believe that the girth that he's wearing is almost too small for him. It's a size 50. So there's that. He's not that big of a horse. Like, I think he's only like 16 hands, maybe 16 wide. These are the final boss marshmallows. He's looking pretty heavily at them, so we're just letting him take his time. I reward basically every step forward he takes, because to him this could be something that could kill him. So if he's willing to trust me and follow me, I need to reward that. I need to pay him, because I'm asking him to do stuff that is inherently nerve-wracking to a flight animal. And I'm also asking him to do it quicker than what they typically would if they were just loose in a field, being able to check things out. Now he's watching the little baby calf go running around in there. Look at how cute he is. He stopped running, of course, as soon as I started filming. But yeah, same thing as Pistachio. My goal is to get him comfortable following me new places and trust me and be less herd-bound and less dependent on having another horse friend with him. So rushing him and making him feel unsafe would not be the move here. So that's why I'm letting him take his time. We're pretty close to the marshmallows, and last time it flapped and it scared him a little bit. So what you can even do here is turn them around and walk away a little bit before they choose to, and see how quickly he spun around. And yeah, he's spooking at it being behind him. It's okay. So he's actually quite scared. He would have kept following me more, but then he would have spooked for sure. So now I take him for a little walk back. Then I stop him where he feels safe, or at least semi-comfortable. Like, he doesn't need to feel completely at ease, but where he feels safe. Yeah, so see, he's stopping and staring at it. And his willingness to go forward would make people think that he's not afraid, but like, he definitely is. So I need to honor that, because horses that don't outwardly show fear bigly shouldn't be punished for that by being overwhelmed. I want to reinforce the fact that he's really, really good, even when he's nervous, and I can't punish him by forcing him to do stuff all at once. What would be a better plan too is if I had another horse for him to follow this first time, especially past these marshmallows. That would be helpful and he'd be less nervous that way, but we don't have that today. Now we're walking past the marshmallows, but we're between a corridor, so he's very uncomfortable. So I don't stop him as much then, unless he really wants to, but ideally I try to get them to walk so that they don't feel trapped. And now we're marching very forward to get away from the big scary marshmallows. But that's really all he's afraid of walking down there. If they weren't there, he'd probably march all the way to the barn, because last time I took him down before they got put there, he got basically all the way down to the barn with me and then didn't want to come back. He kept trying to turn around and go back, and I was like, bro, why don't you want to hang with your friends? We got all the way down to the barn, but today would not be a good day to tie him, because the beehives and the marshmallows, he was a little up and he was being very good. He didn't spook, he didn't bolt or do anything. But for me to ask him to stand after that by himself would be unfair. So the first time we work on tying down there, I'm gonna bring a buddy for him, or we'll practice this a few more times before he goes down there and make sure he's more comfortable with it. See now look at how he's leading me. But now he's like, marshmallows, oh my god, what are you gonna do? My goal with all of my horses is basically to become their trustworthy friend enough that basically they treat me like another horse, in terms of they feel just as comfortable around me, or at least close to it, as they do around their equine buddies. Because then that allows me to be their comfort zone, and they can seek me when they are nervous. But yeah, I'm very, very proud of him. That saddle's set to Milo, so it's a little wide for him, but we'll adjust it for him after. And he's gonna get his own little saddle pad too. Are you itchy? Yeah, and then I'll just untack him. Hi, sir. You're standing on yourself. You know you don't need to follow me everywhere. You're not a dog. You know that? Your friends Those are all way down there. What do you think of that? Way down there. Sir, you don't need to be following me everywhere. So yeah, I think that was a very productive day. The other goal is that like I not only need to get him comfortable down at the barn for like tacking and grooming stuff, but I also need to get him comfortable with going off property because there's an indoor across the street that we can use. And they also have a very long driveway, so he'll have quite a distance to walk before actually reaching the arena. So I want to get him really comfortable being away from his pals. He's going to go see Milo. Banksy's like one of the most popular guys in the herd, and he's like basically the only one other than Pogo that Milo really cares if he leaves. So bringing him out to work with him is also just getting Milo used to the idea that his little baby boy is going to be getting a job soon and won't be around all the time. Just as like a PSA to add, also the reason why I can just like get on my pony after like months off and have him be like pretty safe when he's only had 3 rides. Another factor is the fact that he has so much turnout and he has access to other horses and his needs are met. If I took that pony and put him into a stall paddock situation where he was only getting turnout by himself for like 6 hours a day, you would very quickly see him change. Because that wouldn't really be a fair ask for him to have to cope with not being able to self-exercise in addition to expecting him not to react to stuff. They're running. That is a 2-year-old. Can you believe it? A 2-year-old.